Hello everyone, this is Void Spirit. I'm here to bring you guys amazing fanfiction that you will surely enjoy. But before we start, please subscribe and like the video for more amazing content. CH30. Hajime became Papa. The group was in a line to enter the city of Foreign. Hajime was lying on the hood of the car. Chloe, Shia and Yu were talking to their new member, Tio. Rimuru was leaning against the car with Sakura next to him. They were drawing a lot of attention from the people around because of the vehicle and the pretty girls. Hey, Shia. Hajime got down from the hood and called out to Shia. She approached with a tearful expression and he spoke. You don't have to wear that necklace anymore. We've already drawn enough attention and we don't need to hide anymore. The necklace Hajime spoke of was a metal necklace similar to a slave's necklace. This was because a non-slave demi-human would draw a lot of attention, but now they didn't need to hide. After killing an army of 60,000 in the city of they were pretty famous. It was 600,000, but no one knows because the bodies of the clones disappeared after Cardenas died. Mainly because Hajime made a speech before the battle that said something about their group being the sword of the goddess of fertility. That would make it difficult for the church to label them as heretics. Shia looked at her necklace and spoke timidly, No, you don't have to. Why not? I thought you hated it. It's just that it was the first thing Hajime-san gave me and it shows that I'm from Hajime-san. She was red and her ears were twitching in shame. I see. At least let's make it prettier. Hajime put his hand on the necklace and transmuted its metallic appearance to look prettier. Shia looked happy. At this moment a voice interrupted. Gushin-sama. I would like you to put a slave necklace on me. Tio spoke up, interrupting the good time Hajime and Shia were having. Hajime slapped Tio, which caused her to lay panting on the ground. Getting a punishment like that. What a ruthless master. Hajime-san, thank you. This way I'll look prettier on our date. Ehehe. Shia looked happy. The date she was referring to was a thank you from Hajime for her saving Aiko. If Shia hadn't interfered, Aiko would have been hit in the head and died. Rimuru could resuscitate her, but the others didn't know that. Rimuru was leaning against the car with his hand on Sakura's waist. Chloe was making room as she had made a lap pillow for Rimuru the whole trip. Rimuru was pointing out some peculiarly shaped clouds when, Hey brat. Give me that girl. A coarse-looking man approached and yelled at Rimuru demanding Sakura. The man tried to grab Sakura's arm and Rimuru thought it would be a pain in the ass to deal with, so he activated Demon Lord Haki. When he activated, the man who was about to grab Sakura fell on his butt on the ground and collapsed in fear. The people who were staring at the girls stopped staring. So did the merchants staring at the car. A commotion started over the man passed out on the road and a town guard arrived. What's going on here? He asked and Rimuru replied. That guy was trying to kidnap my fiancé, so I gave him a scare. We are the victims here. Sakura blushed at Rimuru calling her bride. Even if you say that. The guard wanted to comment that this scare might have been a bit much. Not least because the man was passed out and his pants were wet, but the witnesses confirmed Rimuru's story. The guard then asked. Are you Hajime, Rimuru, Yu, Shia, and Sakura? Yes. That's right. How do you know? The branch director told us to let you guys through. He said you would be in a metal carriage. He spoke looking at the car. The group agreed to go and were guided to the branch. A receptionist guided them to Ilwa's office and there he was. Ilwa greeted Will and told him to look for his parents. Then Hajime said. You will keep the agreement, right? Ilwa sat up and answered. Yes. First I will promote you to gold rank adventurers. That will help with a lot of things. I also brought several status plates for you here. I don't know why you want extra plaques either, but here they are. Of course I'll take a look at your status and as agreed I won't reveal anything. Okay. The reason Rimuru asked for extra status plates was in case they found some new companion that they didn't have. Like Hinata for example. Ilwa handed out status plaques to the girls. Rimuru tinkered with Chloe's, but couldn't tinker with the name, level, class, and age categories. Ilwa picked up the plates and was wearing cold. What? What the fuck is that? His reaction was normal, not least because. Name. Tio Chloris. Age. 563 years old. Gender. Female. Class. Guardian level. 89 strength. 770. Dragon form. 4.620. Vitality. 1.100. Dragon form. 6.600 Endurance. 1.100. Dragon Form. 6.600. Agility. 580. Dragon Form. 3.480 Magic Power. 4.590 Magic Resistance. 4.220. Abilities Dragon Form Dragon Scales. 8. Increased Magic Efficiency, Increased Strength, Physics Rush, Wind Shield, Pain Conversion, Magic Manipulation, plus Magic Power Emission, plus Compression of Magic. Ability with the element of Fire, plus Decrease in Magic Consumption, plus Increased Effect, plus Increased Duration. Ability with the element of Wind, plus Decrease in Magic Consumption, plus Increased Effect, plus Increased Duration. Composite Magic. Name. Yu. Age. 323 years old. Gender. Female. Class. Sorceress, Miko. Level. 75 Strength. 120 Vitality. 300 Endurance. 60 Agility. 120. Magic Power. 6.908 Magic Resistance. 7.120 Abilities. Automatic Regeneration. Plus Pain Control. Aptitude. With all elements Composite Magic, Magic Manipulation. Plus Emission of Power Magic. Plus Magic Compression. Plus Remote Control. Plus Increase in Efficiency. Plus Magic Absorption. Composition by Imagination. Plus Increase in Ability to Imagination. Plus Simultaneous Composition of more than 2 spells. Plus Delayed Summoning. Blood Conversion. Plus Body Strengthening. Plus Magic Conversion. Plus Vitality Conversion. Plus Magic Strengthening. Plus Blood Pact. High Speed Magic Recovery, Magic of Creation, Magic of Gravity. Name. Shia Haulia. Age. 16 years old. Gender. Female. Class. Riddle Level. 40 Strength. 60. Maximum. 6.100. Vitality. 80. Maximum. 6.120 Endurance. 60. Maximum. 6.120. Agility. 85. Maximum. 6.125 Magic Power. 3.020 Magic Resistance. 3.180. Abilities Premonition. Plus Automatic Summoning. Plus Assumption of the Future. Manipulation of Magic. Plus Body Strength. Plus Partial Strength. Plus Increase in Conversion to Efficiency. Plus Concentrated Strength. Gravity Magic. Name. Sakura. Age. 401 years old. Gender. Female. Class. Floral Artist. Level. 100 Blessing. Crest of the Void. Strength. 6.355. Vitality. 2.000 Endurance. 3.655 Agility. 9.857 Magic Power. 11.392. Magic Endurance. 11.392 Abilities Aptitude with Nature, plus Mastery. Aptitude with Light, plus Mastery. Aptitude with Dual Wield, plus Mastery. Flora Creation. Magic Economy. Metamorphosis. Mana Materialization. Pink Color. Creation of Abilities. Flora and Light. Power by Appointment. Direct Mana Manipulation. Manipulation of Flora. Resistance to physical attacks. Resistance to magical attacks. Resistance to spiritual attacks. Spiritual Aptitude. Gravity Magic. Name. Chloe O. Albert. Age. 2111 Gender. Female. Class. True Hero. Level. Unmeasurable Blessing. Crest of the Void. Strength. 10.396. Vitality. 10.394 Stamina. 10.040 Agility. 10.398 Magic Power. 10.384. Magic Resistance. 10.0089 Abilities Aptitude with all elements. Resistance against all elements. Physical resistance. Complex Magic. Fencing. Herculean Strength. Teleportation. Foresight. High Speed Magic Recovery. Presence Detection. Magic Detection. Overcome Limit. These were all exorbitant numbers. Shia was a demi-human with magic. Tio and Yu had some abilities from races that had been extinct for centuries. The age of all of them was also super advanced. Sakura also had several strange abilities like Metamorphosis, or Skill Creation. But the worst of all was Chloe, who was of a true hero class and was over 2,000 years old. Chloe's level wasn't even possible to measure either. Not only Ilwa, but even his assistant next to him was scared. Rimuru thought he did well to hide Chloe's real strength. If Ilwa saw the real numbers, he would probably have a heart attack. Unfortunately, he couldn't modify Chloe's class and age. The skills he put equal to those of Kuki, who was also a hero. A true hero? Yes, she is a true hero, You're not going to start asking questions, right? Rimuru spoke up to confirm. They had no agreement to tell Ilwa of their stuff. No, I keep my agreements. I was just a little shocked. Your group is probably stronger than the apostles of God and any gold adventurer. You guys can go now. Sigh. They retreated from the room and went in search of an inn for the night. They rented rooms and Rimuru, Chloe and Sakura were eating in the inn restaurant. Hajime-san, the date. Shia spoke looking down embarrassed. Yes. Let's go now. Is that okay with you? You? Yes. In return. In return? Hajime didn't understand her words. Yu licked her lips and spoke. Love me much more tonight. Hajime kissed her and agreed. Did you see? Did you see Uncle San? Yu-san managed to create a mood even in this situation. I hope to be like her one day. Shia spoke dejectedly. Shia. Do your best. Yu encouraged her and they left. While Hajime and Shia had a date, the others did some shopping and were now relaxing in a beautiful town square. Yu and Tio were drinking tea at an outdoor table. Rimuru and the girls were sitting at the water fountain that was in the center of the square. Rimuru-san. Look how tall I've gotten. Chloe climbed up on the fountain and struck a heroic pose. Rimuru looked at her with a gentle smile as he thought that even at 2,000 years old, some parts of Chloe were still a bit childish. Rimuru-san. Catch me. She jumped out of the fountain and Rimuru caught her like a princess. Ehehe. Maybe that was too childish, she said, looking down at her red cheeks. Rimuru kissed her. Mochu, I love all parts of Chloe as well as that childish part. Chloe turned red like a tomato and spoke softly, me too. She settled on his chest with a happy expression. Tio and Yu were talking. Yu, aren't you afraid of this meeting? Tio asked, curious about Hajime and Shia's meeting. No, she spoke and sipped her tea. But what if she takes Gushin-sama from you? No, I don't care if Hajime has more women. I want Hajime to have more people to cherish. If Hajime loves other people, it doesn't matter. I know he will always love me too. Wouldn't you rather have him all to yourself? Don't you think you'll be miserable if Gushin-sama has more women? Yu took a sip of her tea again and pointed to the side. Look at them. There was Rimuru sitting on the edge of the fountain. He was stroking Chloe's head, which was on his chest. His other hand was holding Sakura's hand and she was drinking ice cream. Sakura had loved ice cream ever since she first had it and she took it whenever she could. Do they look unhappy? Yu was talking about Sakura and Chloe. No, Tio spoke, still watching the two. What about you, Tio? Are you going to try to have Hajime all to yourself? No. I am happy with Gushin-sama punishing me occasionally. Pervert. Kabam! A loud explosion was heard a few blocks east and everyone ran in the direction to find out what happened. Hajime. There was Shia and Hajime who had a little girl on his shoulders. What happened? Long story short. We destroyed a criminal organization that was transporting slaves. Hajime and Shia were having a date. Shia was very excited and was walking ahead. When she realized that Hajime was far behind, she walked backwards, waiting for him to catch up with her. Hey, Shia. Be careful not to fall. Hajime thought she might trip if she kept walking backwards. What are you talking about, Hajime-san? I'm not a child anymore. No need. She stumbled and Hajime caught her by the waist so she wouldn't fall. She wouldn't get hurt, but her panties would show and there were several men around. So Hajime helped her regain her balance. Thank you. She spoke, ashamed of being held by the waist. Shia's embarrassed appearance was so cute that some of the men around were holding their noses so the blood wouldn't escape. Others were passed out from hitting their partners. Look, Hajime-san. An aquarium. Come on, come on. She pulled her hand into the aquarium and there they found an old acquaintance of Shia's. The talking fish Lehman. Hajime and Lehman chatted and became friendly. So much so that Hajime even helped Lehman escape back to the sea. Hajime and Shia had left the aquarium when Hajime stopped and gave a confused groan. Hajime-san. Shia was confused and asked what happened. My presence detected a faint presence below. Probably a child. Below. A child in the sewer. Yes. Let's save her. Shia went ahead and they walked into a manhole cover. They reached the site of the presence and there was a child passed out. She had light green hair and fish ears. Dweller of the Sea. Dweller of the Sea were the only demi-human who were not hunted and hated by humans. They lived in a city in the middle of the sea and helped the humans with fishing, and in return the humans provided protection. So it was strange to have a girl from this tribe here. Hajime and Shia picked her up and gave her clean water, which was essential for a sea dweller. The little girl remained passed out and they carried her out. Shia and Hajime rented a room to hide the girl, for they did not know who might be after her. The little girl woke up and told her story. Her name was Myu and she was kidnapped by a criminal organization that trafficked in slaves. Slavery was forbidden in the kingdom. Myu managed to escape from the organization and had to cross a desert. This made her totally tired as she needed a lot of water a day. She arrived in foreign, but before she found someone who could take her home. The criminal organization found her and she fled through the sewers. At the moment Shia was giving Myu a bath and Hajime had arrived with food. Here Myu. Thank you. Hajime gave Myu some dumplings. Hajime talked with Shia about what they should do and they decided that turning her over to the guild would be the best choice. Myu hearing this spoke up. No. Myu wants to stay with Oni-chan and Oni-chan. She cried and squirmed. They took her away, and on the way she did everything. She scratched, pinched and even said she would hate them if they did that, but Hajime thought it would be dangerous to take Myu on their travels and Shia agreed. They handed Myu over to the guild and she with tears in her eyes asks. Oni-chan, do you hate Myu? Hajime felt a sorrow in his heart at those words, but continued walking away. When they were 3 blocks away. Kabam, an explosion was heard from where they were just now. Myu. They ran in the direction of the explosion and there the guards who were going to take care of Myu were dead. Hajime found a note on the ground and read it. If you want the little girl back, bring the girl from the rabbit tribe. Hajime read the note and crushed it. At this moment he decided to destroy this organization. Myu was in a dome with water and was going to auction soon. At the moment she had several thoughts. Why didn't the Oni-chans want to stay with me? Did I do something wrong? I shouldn't have said I hated them. I hit them too. I wish I could apologize, but there's no way. What will they do to me? I just want to stay with the Oni-chans and go back to my mother. I promise that if I meet them again I'll be a good girl. She had started to shed tears, and at that moment the leader of the organization knocked on the dome glass. Hey, you. Stop sleeping. The man thought Myu was sleeping, but she was cowering in fear. He kept hitting the glass to scare her and Myu kept crying. Prick, get away from her, trash. The glass ceiling broke and Hajime appeared. He threw the arrogant man into the wall and broke the dome that Myu was trapped in. Hajime picked Myu up on his lap. Are you okay, Myu? Oni-chan. She hugged him happily and shed tears of joy. The leader of the organization then spoke startled. Impossible. The guards were outside. Hajime just spoke. They're all dead. Ah. The man opened the door and saw all his guards dead. He fell on his butt on the floor scared. No. That's not possible. Hajime just ignored him and started to climb into the sky with aerodynamics. He reached an opening where he could see the entire city. Hajime stood there looking at the view of the city and put Myu on his shoulders and spoke. Myu. Get ready for the fireworks. Huh? Myu tilted her head in confusion. Then. Boom boom boom, several explosions bounced off several houses in the city. These houses were bases of the criminal organization. Myu hugged Hajime in fright and spoke. Oni-chan. Fireworks are scary. Hajime stroked her head to calm her down and returned to the ground. Shia was there and seemed happy to see Myu. Myu. Oni-chan. They hugged each other happily. That was all. Hajime finished telling the story to the group. The entire organization was destroyed. Yes. We have freed the demi-human who were captured as well. They will be sent back to the Haltina forest. Unlike in the Empire, in the kingdom they were not allowed to buy or sell slaves, so they would only return the demi-human to their home. I see. You'd better warn Ilwa-san about that. I agree. Hajime and Rimuru agreed and went to talk to Ilwa. They recounted the events and Ilwa spoke. There were several buildings destroyed, but the kingdom was wanting to oust this criminal organization and we have it. So I guess it won't be a problem. Ilwa spoke half worried about all the paperwork that would come in the next few days. Hajime and Rimuru looked pleased and Rimuru muttered, that's good. Ilwa then continued. About the little girl from the Sea Dwellers. I will assign an escort mission for her. Would you like to accept the request? The group looked at Hajime and Rimuru. Rimuru seemed to have no objections. Myu, who was standing next to Hajime, hugged him when she heard Ilwa's question. Hajime patted his back and replied. Yes. Hajime answered without hesitation. He didn't want to leave Myu alone anymore. Myu was happy about this and hugged him even tighter. Shia took Myu on her lap and spoke. Did you hear that, Myu-chan? You'll be able to stay with us. Isn't that great? Yes. Shia Oni-chan. Hajime then introduced the rest of the group. Are you guys Oni-chan's friends? Yes. That's right. Everyone agreed and Hajime introduced Yu as his beloved. Are you Oni-chan's girlfriend? Yes. Myu looked a little shy with Yu. Then Yu came closer and stroked her head. She said, You worked hard, Myu. And Myu hugged her. It was really easy for them to relate. They were walking back to the inn when. Oni-chan, where are we going? Let's go to a place where we can spend the night. By the way, Myu. Could you stop with the Oni-chan thing? Call me Hajime. Then I'll call you Papa. Everyone was surprised at the name she spoke. Hajime thought it might be a misunderstanding and spoke. Myu. Maybe that word means, Hajime, in your language? Myu denied with her head and spoke. No, Papa is Papa. Mayu's Papa was gone when Myu was a baby. So Oni-chan is my new Papa. Hajime tried to convince her to hand call him that, but it didn't work. So Hajime became Papa. Ch 31. Demons' loud sounds and tremors could be felt inside the Great Orcus dungeon. Traces of swords and projectiles could be seen. It was a battlefield. Rising breach. Kuki, the hero, recited a chant and his sword let out several flashes of light. The flashes went towards the magical beast that looked like a giant bat. The magical beast was already bruised and could not resist. Plaft, its body fell to the ground. The place that Kuki and his group were at the moment was the 89th floor. The group was doing very well in conquering the dungeon and was close to the 100th floor, which they thought was the last floor. What they didn't know was that the dungeon had over 300 floors. The bat that Kuki had just killed was the last of a large group. Kuki's group scanned the surroundings and saw nothing, so they stopped to rest. Haha. We are very strong. We are almost at the end of the dungeon. No matter who it is, we won't be defeated. Even if it's the demon race. Kuki spoke excitedly. Shizuku tried to warn him not to be careless, but his words were received lightly. Ayako-chan. Will you heal the rest for me? Kaori asked the secondary healer and the healer agreed. The rest meant Hayama and his group, for whom Kaori had no positive feelings and therefore did not even heal them. Hayama's group had realized this a while ago, but when they asked their colleagues they just replied that there was no way that the beautiful and gentle goddess Kaori could hold a grudge against them. Kaori was staring into nothingness with a thoughtful expression. Are you okay? Shizuku approached and asked worriedly. Could I protect him now? She asked, worried about whether she would be strong enough to protect Hajime. Yes. All of us have become super strong and few can fight us. Shizuku spoke confidently, but Kaori also knew she was worried. Yesterday Shizuku told Kaori her concerns and Kaori agreed with them. The concerns were about the size of the dungeon. This was because her colleague Rimuru had gone to the dungeon long before them and had not yet appeared. If the 100th floor really was the last floor, Rimuru would have returned to them by now. So many of the students thought that Rimuru was dead, but Kaori and Shizuku had a different opinion. They had experienced first-hand Rimuru's devastating power and knew that even now that they had grown stronger they could not beat him. So they were wondering how he could die if they were alive. The conclusion they came to was that either they had more floors or there was a super powerful monster that would have killed Rimuru. They hoped it wasn't the second part because if a monster could kill Rimuru they wouldn't stand a chance. Kaori smiled at Shizuku and said she was fine. Shizuku was still worried, but before she could say anything. Kaorin. The cheerful Suzu arrived and jumped on Kaori. I won't let Kaorin be sad. Just heal me. There's no reason to heal others, heal only me. Jahihi. Suzu, but you're not even hurt. Where are you playing? My heart is wounded. Then heal me. More specifically, pamper me with your breasts. Breasts. Suzu groped Kaori like an old pervert and Kaori cringed in shame. At this moment Shizuku spoke up. Suzu. I know you don't care, but the boys are watching. The boys had blood coming out of their noses and were staring. They must have been thinking something rude. Suzu didn't stop, so Shizuku smacked her on the head. Thank you, Shizuku-chan. That was awkward. It's okay. I exterminated the pervert. Hero's current group statuses. Name. Amanogawa Kuki. Age. 17 years old. Gender. Male. Class. Hero level. 72, 26. Strength. 880. Vitality. 880. Endurance. 880. Agility. 880. Magic power. 880. Magic resistance. 880. Abilities. Ability with all elements, plus increase in light element effectiveness, plus increase in activation speed, resistance against all elements, plus increase in light element effectiveness, physical resistance, plus increase in recovery rate, plus mitigation of impact, composite magic fencing, Herculean strength, teleportation, predicao, recovery from high-speed, magic presence detection, overcome boundary, language comprehension. Name. Sakagami Ryotaro. Age. 17 years old. Gender. Male. Class. Fist fighter level. 72. Strength. 820. Vitality. 820. Endurance. 680. Agility. 550. Magic power. 280. Magic resistance. 280. Skills. Body to body combat techniques, plus body strengthening, plus partial strengthening, plus concentrated strengthening, plus penetrate and destroy, teleportation, physical resistance, plus Vajra, resistance against all elements, language comprehension. Name. Yaegashi Shizuku. Age. 17 years old. Gender. Female. Class. Swordsman level. 72. Strength. 450. Vitality. 560. Endurance. 320. Agility. 1110. Magic power. 380. Magic resistance. 380. Abilities. Fencing, plus increase in cutting speed, plus increase in sword drawing speed, teleportation, plus superior teleportation, plus legs vertigo, plus no hit, prediction, presence detection, furtivity, plus ghost attack, language comprehension. Name. Shirasaki Kaori. Age. 17 years old. Gender. Female. Class. Healer level. 72. Strength. 280. Vitality. 460. Endurance. 360. Agility. 380. Magic power. 1380. Magic resistance. 1380. Abilities. Magic healing, plus increased effectiveness, plus increased healing rate, plus increased imagination. Ability. Plus permeation detection, plus effective increase in range, plus increased distant healing efficiency, plus increased recovery efficiency from abnormal states, plus decreased magic consumption, plus increased magic power efficiency, plus continuous increase, plus simultaneous activation, plus delayed activation, plus additional activation, light element awareness, plus increase in activation speed, plus increase in efficiency, plus increase in duration, plus continuous in duration, plus continuous increase, plus simultaneous activation, plus delayed activation, recovery of high-speed magic, plus meditation, understanding of language. What's going on? Kuki spoke confused. The students went down to the 90th floor and were totally dumbfounded. There was no magical beast on this floor. They explored 70% of the floor and still found nothing. Why can't we find any magical beasts? Everyone looked thoughtful. Even if it was Rimuru who had killed the magical beasts, there was still no explanation for where the bodies were. Shizuku tried to encourage the group to retreat from the abnormal situation and report to Captain Meld and the knights who were protecting a teleportation circle that connected floors 70 and 30. Nagayama agreed with Shizuku and tried to convince Kuki, but Kuki didn't want to and said that the others were worrying too much. Kuki's reason for not backing down was arrogance. Kuki thought that nothing could hurt him with his current power and wanted to prove his worth. He thought that with his current strength he could beat even the Grim Reaper. The truth was that being saved by Chloe hurt his pride and he would not back down because he thought that could be considered cowardice. The group found a large room with monster blood all over the walls and floor. The students were thoughtful and Shizuku spoke up. I wonder why there are only traces in this room. Maybe whoever killed the other monsters didn't have time to clean up the tracks here. It's a trap. A voice interrupted Shizuku. It was a somewhat thick female voice that spoke in an arrogant tone. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, and there was a woman with red hair, pointed ears and very vulgar clothes. This appearance reminded them of a description the church gave them. Race of demons. One of the students muttered, and the woman revealed a cold smile. All the students widened their eyes in surprise. You in the ridiculously shiny armor are the hero, right? She pointed at Kuki and asked in a mocking tone. Shut up. Did I just get called ridiculous by a demon? By the way, what are you doing down here? Kuki used his anger to recover from his surprise and shouted a totally racist phrase at the woman. The woman just kept smiling and said, Sai, I am following orders after all. You there, hero, don't you want to come over to our side? What do you mean? You don't seem to understand things well. This is an invitation for you to come to the side of the demons. What do you think? I refuse. Are you asking me to betray my companions in this kingdom? Just as I heard the demon race is evil. How foolish to come here alone. We have numbers, so surrender now. Kuki replied without thinking or asking his companions for their opinion. It was foolish to think they had the advantage just because they had numbers. But Kuki was blind with rage that an evil demon had asked him to become a traitor, and he didn't care about the facts. The woman gave a smile. You say interesting things. Saying that I am here alone. Milo-sama, don't you think he is an idiot? Yes, I agree, Catalia. The woman named Catalia spoke a name they had never heard before, and a voice answered them. The students broke into a cold sweat as this voice was frighteningly close to them. They looked in the direction of the voice, and there was a young man leaning on the wall 5 meters away from them. Even Kuki, who had the detect presence skill, had not noticed him there. The young man the demon woman called Milo had pale skin and white hair. His clothes were strangely earth-like, and he had 2 black horns on his head. Who are you? Shizuku asked, a little startled, and put herself on guard. Milo looked disinterested. He averted his eyes and spoke. I'm just an observer. You can fight, I won't interfere. He snapped his fingers and disappeared, leaving the students even more dumbfounded. Kuki, we have to be careful with him. It doesn't matter. If he is an enemy of humanity, we will win. Kuki spoke a catchphrase and went up to Catalia. Shizuku knew that Kuki was being a fool to ignore Milo, who was clearly dangerous, but since Kuki had already attacked, it was too late to argue. Catalia smiled. Lutos, Havel, Enki. Time to eat. Goo. Nagayama and Shizuku were thrown far away and gave confused groans. Even though Shizuku was the most skilled of the group, she couldn't dodge, and Nagayama, who was super tough, was still thrown backwards. Kaori healed them, and they looked at the creatures that attacked them. The creatures that were now invisible were similar to chimeras. The chimeras attacked again, but were stopped by Suzu's barrier. The chimeras looked angry at the barrier, and the students took advantage of it. Kuki approached and shouted. Get away from Shizuku. So it's okay to attack Nagayama? No one asked that question, but several thought about it. Kuki used teleportation to get closer and attacked the chimera in the neck. At the same time, Ryotaru moved with the other chimera with a karate chop. At this moment, Roar, Guorower. 3 shadows appeared behind Kuki and Ryotaru. The shadows shot toward them with clubs in their hands. Kuki was thrown far away, and Ryotaru defended from a club attack, but was thrown far away by a punch. The creatures that attacked them were the Brutals. They resembled ogres seen in video games. The group had encountered them before, but these were much stronger than the ones they encountered. The Vanguard tried to attack with a powerful fire spell, but the spell was absorbed by a magical turtle-shaped beast that was the size of a car. Very good, Absid. Catalia spoke, and Absid charged a shot. Its hoof glowed and a red light appeared in its open mouth. The light shot toward the students. Come succession of the protective light and be revived as long as I have the will. Interruption from the sky. Suzu made a barrier and defended. She looked struggling, so Kaori also made another barrier to ease her burden. The students began to fight with the magical beasts, and the chimeras and the brutals were almost dead when www. A red light filled the room. The light was coming from a white bird on Catalia's shoulder, and it healed all the magical beasts' injuries. I am impossible. A healer. All students were with bitter faces. They would have to deliver fatal blows or they would not be able to win. The woman, seeing them like that, gave a smug smile. So, you will come over to our side? Don't play games with me. We will not surrender. Here I come, overcome limit. Kuki replied angrily and set off. Oh, it's really a shame. Speaking this, the woman began to chant a spell. A brutal stood between Kuki and Catalia. Sword of Light. He launched a blade of light that cut the brutal in half. Kuki saw the empty space between him and the demon woman and increased the strength of his step. Groau. Ah! 6 chimeras appeared around him. They all attacked at the same time and he defended the attack of 2, but was thrown far away with the other attacks. Ack! He hit the wall and let out a cry of pain. Heavenly Splendor. Coercive Silo. Kaori used individual healing magic on Kuki and also formed a barrier around him. The chimeras were attacked from the rear and that gave Kuki time to get up. 4-winged Crescent Blade. He launched several blades of light and the chimeras would dodge, but Kaori used counter and restricted their movements. The chimeras were killed and Kuki spoke. How pitiful. You have lost your last resort. Now there is nothing left to protect you. Catalia, hearing his words, could only think, why do you need to declare that out loud? She then spoke. That was not my last resort. It's a bluff. Then what am I holding? What? Catalia had a gray orb that was a result of the magic she chanted earlier. The gray orb let out a smoke that went towards Kuki's group. Gya. Grua. Kuki heard roars at his back and there were 5 brutals, 2 chimeras, several small 60-centimeter black cats and a 4-eyed wolf. Kuki was attacked by 2 black cats that had high agility. A brutal also attacked him along with a chimera. Kuki withstood the pressure of the attack, but was attacked by the 4-eyed wolf that had great strength and was thrown towards his group with several injuries. Kaori was healing Kuki and meanwhile Nomura Kentaru warned Suzu that the gray smoke was dangerous and Suzu put up a barrier. However, the barrier did not hold long and the smoke reached Suzu. She was petrified from the waist down and gave a cry of pain. The smoke was heading towards the rest of the students. Wind Bomb. Kuki used a wind magic to blow the smoke away and Shizuku said they had to retreat. Kuki didn't want to, but gave in after seeing Suzu's condition. Fall back. He shouted and everyone followed his orders. 2 students carried Suzu and Nomura Kentaru. The Earth Mage began to prepare a spell. Kuki attacked the ceiling with blades of light, causing several pieces of rubble to fall. Do you think I will let you escape? Catalia spoke and sent the monsters after the group, but Gruauer. The bodies of the chimeras began to rise and attack the monsters. Catalia was surprised as she had not heard of a necromancer in the heroes group. Nomura finished her spell and the ceiling began to fall even further, separating Catalia's group. Shit. Catalia cursed and heard a voice behind her. What are you going to do now? Milo-sama. I'll go after the fugitive first. I see. Don't forget that this is also a test. If I have to interfere, you won't be approved. Yes. The truth was that Catalia was being tested to become a demon lord. In this world, demon lord are the high-ranking members of the demon race. Milo was one of them and he was very revered because he was sent by the gods themselves. That is why Catalia called him Sama. Currently the heroes group was in a makeshift hideout in the Orcus dungeon. This hideout was made in a ready-made room in which they had to just block the entrance with earth magic. Kaori was healing Suzu from her partial petrification and Ayako was healing the others. Kuki was recovering from the overcome limit and the other students were resting while thinking about how to escape the current situation. A gloomy atmosphere filled the room. This was because all the students were thinking about the possibility of death. There was one member of the group who was not here. I hope Endo is okay. Nomura muttered. Endo Kosuke was a good friend of Nomura's and was known to have a thin shadow. He was the kind of person who forgets easily. Like, huh? Were you there? Or, huh? Where is he? And he was right next to him. This natural gift, for Kosuke it was more of a curse, intensified after the students arrived at Tortu's. This was because Kosuke's class was assassin which was focused on sneak attacks. After training he became so forgettable that even the magical beasts ignored him. For that reason the students asked him to run away and warn Captain Meld and the knights about the demon woman. Kosuke was reluctant, but the students encouraged him by saying, "Don't worry, no one notices you." Or, "I almost forgot you were here 2 seconds ago, so the magical beasts will definitely notice you," or, "You are the most forgettable person in the world. That's why you're perfect for the job." These incentives made him accept and he ran away with tears streaming from his face. These tears were as much for abandoning his friends as for his words. Don't worry, Nomura, no one will notice him. He's the most forgettable guy in the world. Yes. I agree, although if Endo heard that he would be crying. That's true. Haha. At this moment Kaori finished healing Suzu, who woke up and said. "You. I wonder if I'm in heaven. I must be to see a beauty like Kaorin and those breasts. Jahihihi. Suzu. I know you like to joke, but it's scary to hear you say that with a pale face." Suzu laughed like an old pervert at seeing Kaori, and her friend Eri scolded her for it. This relaxed conversation improved the mood of the room a bit, but one of the students seemed to want to vent. "Hey, what are you guys laughing at? Huh? We're about to die and you guys are going." Nomura Kondo, one of Hyama's best friends and one of the students who tormented Hajime, spoke up angrily. Kuki, seeing him like that, said, "Kondo, calm down. Calm down. We wouldn't be in this situation to begin with if you had defeated that demon. What a fine hero you are." "Hey. That's pretty irrational. We can't blame Kuki." Shizuku defended him, and that only angered Kondo even more. "Shut up. Shut up all of you. We're about to die and you say I'm being unreasonable, you." "Gruau." A grunt interrupted Kondo. That grunt came from the other side of the wall and caused everyone to shut up and stand still. "We have to keep it down or we will be found." Shizuku spoke low, but it was late. Bam! The wall was broken. Endo Kosuke was running as fast as he could. He was doing it to save 6 colleagues and had to warn Captain Meld as soon as possible, so he wasn't saving his breath and was running desperately. He finally reached the 70th floor where Captain Meld and the knights were. "Captain," he shouted, but no one paid any attention. That was normal for Kosuke, so he approached Meld and shouted once more. "Captain." "Huh? Who's there?" "Ah, it's only you, Endo." Meld was used to being surprised by Kosuke and it enhanced upon seeing him. Meld asked what had happened and Kosuke gave him a summary of events, and Meld was about to give him orders when. "You are really hard to find." A voice came from the back of the room. They looked in the direction of the voice and there was Catalia. Meld put himself on guard and spoke. "Kosuke. Go get help. Use the teleportation circle and destroy it later, now." "But Meld-san." "Go." Kosuke obeyed and started running towards the teleportation circle. As he ran he could hear the death cries of the knights. The magic circle glowed brightly and Kosuke was on the 30th floor. He destroyed the magic circle to avoid being chased and started running. He once again ran as fast as he could for help. On the way to the surface no monster attacked him because of his gift and he quickly reached his destination. After arriving on the surface, Kosuke still didn't rest and headed towards the inn where his salvation would be. He arrived at the inn panting and several stares were directed at him. Kasukue went towards the receptionist and spoke. "Chloe Albert. I need to talk to her. Tell me her room, quick." That was the student's salvation. Kosuke knew that even though the demon woman's power was gigantic, she couldn't beat Chloe. Kosuke was also in the fight against the Reaper. Although he was so forgettable that even the author forgot to narrate his actions, when Kosuke saw the devastating force of the Reaper he thought there was no more salvation, but Chloe Albert saved him and his friends. That was the salvation of Kosuke and his colleagues. He thought Chloe could defeat Catalia, but... "I'm sorry. She's not here anymore." The receptionist was a little startled by the desperate Kosuke and answered him in a low voice. "What? Where is she?" "I don't really know, but for all I know she seems to have left town." Kosuke's hopes were shattered. He was sinking into thoughts about how to save his friends. He decided that his last hope was the high-level adventurers. So he went toward the Adventurers Guild and abruptly opened the door. "Please someone help. Demons. Demons have appeared in the labyrinth," he shouted in desperation and got everyone's attention. At this moment, Endo? Kosuke heard voices of people he thought were dead.